So we're going to begin by just settling the body, grounding the body. If you just come into a cross-legged position, 2 palms of the hands facing up to the ceiling. We're just going to close our eyes, take 3 deep breaths just to begin the session. Take a deep breath in through the nose, pushing the stomach out as we inhale, and then exhaling out through the mouth. Again, inhale, exhale, one more time, inhale, and exhale. And if you open up the eyes, just place the palms facing down on the 2 knees. So we're just going to slowly look over the left shoulder as far as you can. Take the head back to center, over the right shoulder, keeping them relaxed. Back to center, looking up at the ceiling. Center and looking down. And a constant flow of oxygen in and out through the body by breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're now going to take our right hand over the head, open the palm of the hand as wide as you can, and slowly just gently drop the ear down to your shoulder, feeling that nice long stretch going down the side of the neck. Relax it. Opposite hand comes over the head, open the palm of the hand, and drop the ear to the shoulder. Feeling that stretch going down the side of the neck. And relaxing it down. From here we're going to move down to the top of the shoulder. We're going to begin by just going circles around. So we lift up as high as we can, rotate around. These hands are going to just come to the side a little bit to allow us to do a full rotation. We're going to go 6 backwards, 3, 4, 5, 6. Back the other way. Again, this can be performed just sitting at your desk in increments throughout the day. 5 and 6. Relax down. So we're going to shrug these shoulders up as high as we can. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Relax. 3 times. Here we go. Up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Last time. Up. 2, 1. And relax. Let's take those 2 hands out to the side. Nice and tall. And we're just going to rotate over to the left. As far as you can. Back to center. Rotating to the right. Back to center. One more time each side. And last time. Nice. Take those 2 fingertips, both hands down to the side. Take a deep breath in. We're just going to lean that body over to the right side. Leaning on the left hand, reaching over with the right, and then swapping. So we want to build up a nice fluid movement on this, holding for 3, 2, 1, and change. 3, 2, 1, and change. And this is where we begin to get the blood flowing to all the joints by adding a bit more of a dynamic movement to the exercises. We go for 2 more. And this is obviously something that you'd have to do sitting on the floor. And coming back to center. A V shape on the legs, so I'm not looking for them to be straight on, I'm looking for a V shape to bring them out a bit. Keeping again this upright position. 2 hands to the floor. Breathing is very important in this move, so we want a deep breath in through the nose before we start to move. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to take a deep breath in through the nose, and on that exhale, start to move forward as far as I can. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Slowly just bring those hands back. Keep in contact with the floor the entire time on the way out and the way back. Inhale. Exhale. time. Inhale. Exhale. This is loosening out the hamstrings, tapping into the hip girdle and the upper back. Exhale. Now a cat and cow stretch is a stretch which you're probably quite familiar with. It is a fantastic movement to loosen out from the top of your spine right down to the base of your spine. And this is how you're going to do it. Making two fists with the hands. Hands directly underneath the shoulders and feet flexed behind. I'm going to stick my bum out behind me. I'm going to take a deep breath in. Slowly start to curl and tuck that pelvis under. My chin begins to come down towards my chest and I come up as high as I can like a cat. You see a cat arching their back up, and that's exactly what we want. Relax back down, stick that bum out, head becomes neutral. I tuck under, chin to chest. On the exhale, hold it for 5. I come back to center. And I'm going to go again, tuck under. To center. One more time. Typically about 6 reps of these. And I'm coming back to center. That's going to lead me nicely into relaxing my feet behind, sit my bum out, and into what's called a child's pose, where we drop the forehead to the ground, we stretch these hands out as far as we can, keeping your bum back on your heels, and just hold this position. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Here I'm going to transition forward, dropping my hips down and looking up at the ceiling. So we're adding dynamic movement to these two. So we're going to go from what's called a cobra, which is the one we're in now, and we're going to take it back into that child's pose. 3 seconds in each position. 2, 1, and I come forward. 3, 2, 1, and I come back. 3, 2, 1, and I come forward. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go twice more through this. 3, 2, 1, and forward. 3, 2, 1. Last time. 3, 2, 1. Finally back into that cobra. 3, 2, 1. So my hands are directly underneath my shoulders for this. We're going to start off with the first part of this movement, and then I'm going to show you the second part separately, and then we'll add the two of them together. So with this one, my hands directly underneath my shoulders, taking my palm of my hand up towards the ceiling. I'm going to come under my left, just drop my right shoulder to the ground. Keep your head a little bit above the floor, but drop that shoulder down. And you're going to get a stretch across your T-spine, across your thoracic spine, which is your upper part of your back. Same on the other side, palm facing the ceiling. I'm dropping under, holding it for 5 seconds, and I keep alternating. Under. So this part of the back is subject to a lot of pressure. When you're in the seated position, particularly on a laptop, you're going to tighten up across the top of your traps and your upper back. Sometimes it can result in a nerve pinch in the shoulder blade. You might feel your shoulder blade is quite tight. This is a fantastic one for loosening out that shoulder blade. Nice. Bring it back to center. Now from here, we're going to take one big step each on each hand, and I'm going to come onto my toes, okay? So what was typically my all fours position with my chest over my hands, I'm going to shift my body back a little bit. Okay, so you can see my hands are a little bit ahead of me, and I'm back. I'm not all the way back, I'm just back a little bit. My feet are keeping me supported. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come under a little bit, so just halfway, and then I'm going to follow this hand and rotate. I'm going to stay on the on the back, and then we're going to move down towards the hips. So these are called book openers. Lie on your side, your 2 feet are stacked one on top of the other. You can pop a pillow under your neck for this. Sometimes it's a little bit more comfortable than having your head flat to the ground, okay? So 2 hands like so. I'm resting here. My arms are coming out at shoulder height, okay? So I just relax the shoulder. Again, if you have a cushion, your head is going to be a bit straighter and it'll be a little bit more comfortable. If you don't have a cushion, drop your head all the way down. This top leg is going to come up here and relax. So I brought my knee up in the direction of my belly button. 2 hands together, and I'm going to open, follow my hand with my head, keep contact with the floor with your head or the cushion, and then I come back slowly. So book openers, I'm following the page, opening until I get that stretch, and then I come back. And again, open, get that stretch. And this is done really slow and controlled. My legs keep in contact with the floor, as does my head. I just rotate and follow that hand. And last time. Excellent. Okay, other side, we're going the same thing. One on top of the other. I'm relaxed down on the cushion. My 2 hands are stacked one on top of the other, bringing my knee up towards my belly button. Contact with the ground with my feet, contact with the ground with my head. I open and follow. So it's a little bit more comfortable with that cushion under your head. And it also allows you to just open up that little bit more. Similar to the last one we did, you're going to find with more repetitions, this will get loose. So when you get to repetition 4 and 5, that's when the shoulder blades really start to open up. Two more. Nice, guys. And relax. So I'm going to just ground my hips into the ground. We're going to straighten out these 2 legs. Now we're moving to the hip area. So we're just going to loosen out these hamstrings and hips by just raising the legs up nice and straight, one at a time. Slowly, so you're not doing any kind of bouncing or swinging motion. It's nice and steady and nice and straight. Similar to those shoulders and neck muscles, the hamstrings and hip have quite a close relationship as well. So if your hamstrings are very tight up near top of the muscle, that's going to move and shift up into your glutes and cause you to feel that you've got very, very tight hips and tight glutes. So it's very important to make sure that the lower half of the body is constantly as loose as can be. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Excellent. Now we're just going to bend those legs up. Move my hands a little bit more out to the side. And then I'm slowly just lifting those hips up off the ground. And then slowly back down. Making sure that that pelvis is tucked under. And we're going for 10 of these. So this is something that you can lift certain exercises from this, depending on where you are feeling the stiffness or the tension. And you can do these at different spaces throughout your day, or you can do the entire program as one, once or twice per week in the morning times before you begin work. It's just a great way to start the morning, to wake up the body, and to get that oxygen and blood flowing to those muscles that are under pressure throughout the day. We're going to go for 2 more. Last one. Excellent stuff. We're going to roll ourselves up, 2 legs are out straight, hands up over the head, take a deep breath, and on that exhale come over as far as you can. So I want you to check in and see where that tension is sitting. Is it in the hamstrings? Is it in the lower back? Is it in the hips? Come up again, hands up towards the ceiling. Deep breath, exhale. All of a sudden you should be a little bit further. We are going to be up into a high plank position. Okay, so onto my hands, onto my feet. My back is nice and straight. I'm going to hold this position here. My left foot is going to come between my two hands. Alright, so now we're looking at the glutes and the hips. My back leg is really, really straight behind me. Chest is sitting on top of the leg. I'm stacked under. Take a deep breath in through your nose. My left foot's in front. I'm going to relax my right hand down and I'm going to rotate my left hand and look up. And hold that position. And you should feel it opening up from the hip into the groin and into the glutes. Take it back. Take that foot back, other foot comes forward. Same thing, just settle down into the position. Back leg is straight, my chest is sitting up on top of my leg. Take a deep breath and then rotate to the side of the front leg. Take it back nice and slowly. Foot comes back, I drop to the knees. And I reset into child's pose. Forward onto all fours. The next one is called a pigeon pose or a pigeon stretch. I'm going to take my left leg. This can be quite an awkward position to get into, so take your time. I'm going to take my left leg forward, like so, in front of me. So I'm just going to slightly turn to show you so you can see. My left leg is in front of me. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm going to relax that back leg nice and straight. I come down onto my two elbows. And just slightly lean into that stretch. Hold that there. And we should feel this on the side of the hip. Now on this one we leave it towards the end because we're warm from the other exercises. If you're ever doing this stretch in isolation, as in just by itself to stretch out your glutes, just make sure that the body's not cold, that the muscles aren't too cold, that you're warmed up. Okay, now I'm going to come up onto my palms with my hands, onto the fingertips, and just brace that chest, lift that chest up towards the ceiling. Okay, and I'm going to come down, palms so I have more support, flex my foot behind me so that I can lift out of that and bring my other leg forward. When I have my position, I relax my back foot and I lower back down onto the elbows. Same on this side, slightly leaning gently into that stretch. Constant breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And I'm coming up onto my hands, onto my fingertips, bracing that chest, looking up at the ceiling. Slowly come down onto the hands, flex that back foot, lift yourself up out of it, two knees onto the ground, and finally we take it back into a child's pose. And very, very slowly, just start to pull those hands back towards you. Sitting the bum onto the heels. Two hands, interlock the fingers together against the chest. Take a deep breath in through your nose. On the exhale, round the back, push those two hands out. Coming up tall. Inhale. Exhale, round again. And last time, mobility and movement tutorial and workout. As I said, you can do each of those exercises in isolation with one another depending on where it feels tight in the body. You can wake up some mornings and have just slept wrong, shoulder could be tight, neck can feel very stiff, and those beginner exercises at the start of the workout can do the trick for loosening that out. But I would encourage everybody who has a desk job, who's sitting for a long period of time in a sedentary position, to absolutely include this as an entire program, at least once per week, if not twice per week, or pull different exercises from the program to do in isolation to loosen out whatever body part feels tight. Hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, send me an email and I'll get straight back to you.